going on out there. The people are casting this as the next step to Armageddon. Insane.
So you live again?
North End.
Oh, yes, you're correct, Councilor Bonsteele. The next minutes will clarify that even further because Council did give some specific direction and that went back to the last committee meeting. We just haven't had a chance to approve those minutes yet. So I think the next set of minutes, it states clearly that zone 3 and 4 are not being discussed. There could be some general discussions on wastewater management, but we won't be discussing recommendations around anything related to zone 3 and 4 services.
It's all coming back to council.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of that? Carried. 6.2, planning report 35, this is the subdivision agreement between Rice Development and the municipality of Lambton Shores. Report number 35, there's a recommendation there. Would the planner like to speak to this? There's a couple, this is the, our first plan of subdivision, I guess, is this council? Draft approval?
Final approval.
Final approval for?
Yes. Just a couple things I wanted to address with council. Since I wrote this report, and I'll refer to the clearing of condition 12, which is focused around the traffic study and the improvements to Main Street East. I kind of go through explaining to you what's anticipated for the Rice, for that segment of Main Street East, directly associated with the Rice group. And I'll apologize to council ahead of time. The funding strategy that I put forward, I would like for you to defer 12 at this point. I would like to bring something else back to you related to development charges and things that were in our development charges bylaw and our development charges report on the funding of Main Street East. I apologize to council. I actually didn't think about development charges, and we've kind of pushed the traffic component of this through quickly because Rice wants to get in the ground, and it was the final element of this that we needed to sort out. So with council's approval, I'd like to bring something back on the funding aspect.
But you'd like approval of the recommendation?
Everything else I'd like
all
approval
except
for, so we
12.
can move ahead and get
I
things
mean, we
rolling.
accept the report, except for condition 12, which will be tabled for later date.
Okay. Second by Cotton.
It's the GGs.
Deputy Mayor Day, question?
Yes, Patty, can I just ask, as I understand your report, municipality of Beach paying half the cost of expanding and developing the entrance area, is that correct?
The traffic reports requires upgrades for Main Street East. Actually, I want to bring funding issues back to you because actually development charges will fund 50% of the improvements. The municipality will be responsible for the other 50% because it's associated with existing development.
Yeah, so is that typical that we do pay half the cost of those types of situations, or is that kind of unique in this situation?
No, development charges looks at things and decides what portion of the improvement is associated with new development and that's funded through development charges. Developers pay development charges, and a portion of every development charge goes into a fund for road upgrades. And when we did the original development charges report, we identified the upgrades that we thought were realistic within the probably a 20-year time period, and we allocated a cost to them, and then we split them 50% basically, and that would be normal to 50% for existing development, 50% for new development. We have to recognize that existing road used by everybody, so it's not just development that's pushing its upgrade, it's a combination.
Okay, that's fine, thank you.
To the mayor, to Abby. When and if there is something across the road, I would assume that they would pick up some more of those charges? Is that how that works? Like, if there's another section that comes into an area?
What I'm anticipating is the road upgrades that are called for, which is a lane east and west and a center turning lane, is the development charge related portion of the road. And the upgrade to an urban standard. It's not an urban standard now, will become an urban standard. As council saw, in the design for the road, we have bike lanes. That's not our normal, so that can't be charged to development charges. That would be at our cost because we see that as being valuable in our new road structures, are these bike turning lanes, especially in Grand Bend. We have all those issues at that corner with respect to traffic, and we have many residents who live there expressing concerns about getting around. We're looking at options to get them around and introduce that into our streetscape. So those would be at our cost, because that is not a normal thing in our road structure. Turning lanes into each development would be a subdivider related cost. So we pay for the basic road upgrades, they pay for their entrances off the road. So a right-hand turn lane, that's what they, a right in, right out entrance, that would be at their cost.
Okay. Any further discussion? Yeah, complete. All in favor of that? Carried. Come back in a couple weeks with the.
I would really like to, if council has a meeting on the 11th, I believe we've got one scheduled, I would like to have that come back. We're very anxious to get this project going, and time is of the essence, so.
Mr. Rice is in the audience, and we're glad he's driven up tonight to see how this goes, and we'll look forward to carrying on. 6.3. This is the occupation agreement between the McIntoshes on Sherritt Street in Thetford. Councillor Cook,
I'll move the recommendation. Second.
seconded. Patty has some adjustments to make to the report.
I really think I was on another plane last week. I had an email from Mr. McIntyre expressing some concerns about the agreement that I prepared. There are two of them. The first one is related to clause 2, which says that we can terminate the agreement upon 60 days' notice. His concern is this is a 20-year project for him. He would like guarantee that he can keep his underground electrical line in the road for 20 years, the time of this project. That's generally what it is. So he was asking, could we please revise 2 to say 20 years? I don't have any issues with that. It is an underground cable and it's a gravel road. If we ever want to use Sherritt Street, we can go in and upgrade it to full municipal standard. I don't see us using it in light of the fact there's going to be solar panels there, but I mean, we always have the option and we can work around a cable in the ground. It's one small thing, so. And his other concern was, I believe that I have a clause in there that says if the project does not start within 180 days, that we can take back our approval. He's requesting 240. He believes that's a little more realistic for his time frame. Again, 180 is the standard. 240 is not an issue. So I guess I would recommend to council that they approve the agreement. I will make the amendments if council's in agreement and get him to sign it and get him on his way.
So is the mover and seconder
I'm okay for that.
okay with those amendments? We do, Councillor Wilson?
About the fact that you just said, well, we're not going to use it, but it could be a back entrance to the right?
And I don't think the cable's going to interfere with us constructing the road on it. Yeah, you're right. It very well could be.
Did you feel that the agreement, like, it should be a problem because it's very difficult? And they would locate it, I would assume, in such a manner that it wouldn't affect the normal travel portion of the road, right? Because
Yes,
normal
yes,
66
it is
foot.
off to the one side, yes.
Thank you. All in favor of that agreement as amended? Carried, thank you. Authorizing agreement. 6.4, on truck tender, there's a recommendation, report number 94. Councilor Russell, move that.
Move to accept the report.
Okay. Seconded. Councilor Scott? Any questions on this? All in favor?